So I want to tell you something about the new wholesale formula that is coming out in February. I have access to the course and I want to show you what you can expect from the wholesale formula 2.0. So when you enter the course, you will see that there is several modules right now. It's not fully finished yet. As I said, I have very early access to show you around what you can expect. But there is some things that are very simple and that I can show you. And one is module 1, getting started. And what they basically tell you there or show you there is, first of all, they give you an understanding of what the wholesale formula is and what you can do with it on Amazon, of course. Then they explain to you how you will learn the data that they give you. And very important, they will explain you the wholesale business model. The wholesale business model is basically very simple. You find your suppliers and you start selling what they sell that is profitable on Amazon. It's of course a very simplistic way of stating it, but that's basically what it all boils down to. Now here they go into what will you be selling. They are explaining basically what I just said also. And then they go into a lesson where they explain to you what you need. For instance, you need a resale certificate, you need an LLC or another company format. There's all kinds of things that you need. Very simple things, not expensive things, but they need to be done before you can properly start. Then they speak about CapForge. Actually in the video they don't speak about CapForge so much, but they speak about bookkeeping and keeping track of your sales, etc. Then there is the international seller help. When you're an international seller like me, you're dealing with all kinds of other things that an American seller does not deal with. Then they guide you through getting a resale license, also called reseller certificate. Then they go and take you through how to create a seller central account, which is basically the account on Amazon, and setting up an LLC. Now they are not lawyers, but they tell you exactly what to do and where to get it. Then they speak about, okay, what is your end goal? They go into how Amazon works, what is traffic on Amazon, and what exactly are conversions. That's basically module 1. Module 2 takes you through the product analysis. Again, they show you some things to recap certain things before you start in this module. And they speak a bit about mindset, about reverse sourcing, meaning you have a product and now you want to find, okay, I want to sell this, where can I get it? Then they define brand owner, having a brand. Brand owning goes more into private label as well, but here they give you the take on how to do that with the wholesale formula. Then there is some checklists. What is an average selling price? How does the buy box work, which is a very interesting video to see. Then how to analyze the competition. Fulfillment channels, like you have fulfillment by merchant, which is you, and especially when you're international you will probably not do that. And you have FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, which is what usually is being used in the wholesale model. Then you have private label. They go into private label, and that can be very profitable, but if I were you, I would start with the wholesale formula first and expand into private label later on, so that you know a bit of the perks that come with Amazon as a platform. Then something about landed costs, how does the buy box work again, profit analysis, calculating the margin, ROI, keystone pricing. Then they explain the Amazon fees, which is very important that you know before you jump into the whole thing. Bonus lessons, well, we know the drill, there's bonuses. Then When we go to module 3, that is scouting, module 4 is value propositions, and module 5 is sourcing. These modules are not yet available, so I cannot tell you anything about it, but believe me, they're going to be packed with a lot of videos, because these are very key issues when you speak about Amazon. Then there is the resource vault. I'll show you that one. Here, some videos that you might have seen just here, because there's some module 1 vault, module 2 vault, etc. But there's all kinds of other things like cheat sheets, templates, services that they use, that they take you through. There's, for instance, there's a prep center page where they speak about several prep centers. So that is important to know. And there is some webinar recordings. There's not a lot. There's several from 2020. But of course soon they're going to have the ones from 2021. Now there's also a Facebook group where if you become a member of this product, of this course, you have access to all the members and you can talk with all the members. There's of course the technical support side of life, and then they say something about office hours. As far as I can see, and what I like about this course a lot, is it's all very simple and it's all very short videos. It's not like very long, you know, and it's very clearly explained. Let me show you one thing. I'll just show you something from module 1. Okay, let's just click on this one and see what happens. So here, you know, like you get a video which is 4 minutes and 53 seconds. And it's in a series. It's a sort of a, you know, like a playlist here, so you know exactly what is the sequence. And there's some downloads, so you can, you know, like download the script, which is always, I like that always, you know, like that they have a PDF with the script so you can easily follow. And you can also see if sometimes someone says something and you don't really hear it fully, then you can just check the PDF and check it out. Then of course there's the next lesson, etc. And here you have CapForce, bookkeeping and tax. So my takeaway on this course, even though it's not fully ready, but I do know that they deliver a product, they have a track record on that, is this will enable you to learn the whole process of the Amazon wholesale business. Now, I have a very special offer because this, of course, is not a course that I sell myself. I basically work as an affiliate for these people. And so if you buy through my link, I will get a percentage of the money that you spend on buying this product. But I will give you a very special deal with it if you decide to buy through my link, and that is this, and I'm going to show you. This is the Jungle Scout market, and as you can see, there is these are the best sellers, and you can see here number 2 bestseller and number 6 bestseller are products that I am selling. And if I go to this product, this is a $679 product per package. If you decide to sell through my link and you actually keep the course, you do not ask for a refund, then what I will do is I will send you this list with 9,500 USA wholesale distributors for your Amazon FBA business, totally for free as a bonus. I can tell you, this is the best bonus that you can get, because all the work that goes into getting the wholesale formula going goes into finding suppliers and finding products. And I'm going to give you this. This list was developed by 3 people in my company that took about a year to get all the data for this list. And there's a lot of data on this list. Like for this data, this list is split in 2 sections. One is a company where we practically have all the data for you. And that is email address, phone number, type of company, in other words, what kind of industry they operate in, the address, city, state, and zip code, website URL. And for many of these 4,000, we also have Facebook page, LinkedIn bio, Twitter handle, year founded, company description, a bit more about the company. We did all that research. And there are also 5,500 companies where we have a lot of data as well, but we either miss the email address or the phone number. So we can't find the phone number or we can't find the email address. Some of these companies we have been contacted and actually are our clients, but still we don't have their phone number because they don't want to give it out. Believe it or not, there is companies that rather are not being called, or there's companies that are rather not being emailed. These companies do exist, and they are part of the 5,500 companies that we do not have all the data from. So if you buy the wholesale formula through my link and you go through the period and you cannot refund it anymore, so I know for sure that you do not refund, then I'm going to send this to you with also some recommendations on which companies to deal first with, to approach first. And I can tell you, I can give you companies from this list that if you approach these and you get an account with these, you will actually make your money back for the wholesale formula just because you use my list. So that's all for now. Check out the videos that are coming out soon, the sales page which is coming out soon. And if you buy through my link, you will not regret it. Okay, so see you out there.
I think, there's a difference between nature and nurture. My nature is go for it. My nurture was fear of failure. So eventually, as adults, I think we have to overcome our nurture. In whatever area of your life, you have to overcome it. And we have to take responsibility for ourselves and figure out, and I'm very lucky in the fact that I've had time to become sort of self-aware and learn about who I am. Once I learned who I am, when I look back at the history, when I am free to be me, this was sort of the path probably I was supposed to be on all along. I was actually raised where don't try that because you might fail. I come from an overprotective Jewish family, and it was don't climb the tree because you might fall. It was don't try things, live in the box. So I wasn't actually raised with the ability to sort of think beyond what was. I heard about the wholesale formula on Facebook, and I decided to move forward with the course because not only did it have a money back guarantee, but I knew that the way I was trying to run my business now wasn't sustainable. The cost of it was a significant percentage of what I had in the bank at the time. And so it was a huge risk, but it was the money back guarantee. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a leap of faith, say yes, just say yes. No idea what I was doing. And then I tried, and I fell flat on my face over and over and over again. Because one of the things I kept saying to myself is, what possibly could I offer somebody? I don't know what I'm doing. I've never had a wholesale account. I just know what I know, and it's a very limited amount. And yes, I learned a lot through the class, but how am I different than Joe Schmo coming up, right behind me? What do I have to offer? And I'll never forget, the guys were here for an event, and they had a dinner. And I sat next to Dan at that dinner. And I said, I'm struggling. I don't know if I can do this. I'm just about to give up. And I've never given up on anything. I am a fighter, if you haven't figured it out by this, but I am a fighter. But I was ready to give up. Hitting my head against the wall, and without somebody to talk to, without somebody to turn to, you're limited by what you know. And that dinner opened up a lot, and Dan was like, just keep trying because you have all the right pieces, you just don't have the confidence. You know, you're smart, you're well-spoken, you're educated. You don't even need to be all those things to be successful at this, but you are. You just don't have the confidence. Okay. It was pretty much the kick in the pants that I needed to realize that I did have some value. This profession has opened almost every door in my life that had been closed to me is now open. I also realized that your fears are just that. They're not real. So I try to face my fears now. I didn't for a long time. I ran away. Now I am like full bore, let's go for it. My first year I did like 40,000 in sales. Second year I think I did 400,000 in sales, second year. Anyway, last year I did 1.12 million. This year I did 1.5 or 6 million. I never imagined I would be talking about these kind of numbers in my life. But for the first time in my adult life, I have freedom. I have freedom of finances. I have freedom of time. The freedom that this allows you financially, emotionally, and time. I literally view myself as semi-retired in 4 years. Who does that? So whatever happens with Amazon, whatever happens with my business, I know for the first time in my life, I know I'm okay. And the guys, I mean, they literally changed my life. And I've told them this every time I see them. They literally changed the trajectory of my life. And they will say, and they always say, you did the work. But they gave me the tools. I didn't know how to do this. Whether we implement it or not, or how we implement it, it is up to us. But you don't know what you don't know. And they gave me that. When I told them that they changed my life the first time, I forget it, Eric got teary. Eric was crying. I was crying. It was great. That's the heart of what they do. And that, there's no price tag on that. I didn't know that on the front end, but talk about bonus on the back end. It was just grateful. Grateful. I have so much gratitude.
You were driving through your old neighborhood recently. Tell me about that.
It was actually pretty crazy. It wasn't that long ago when I was driving through my neighborhood, and as I was driving by, I noticed that we had these 4 windows on the front of the house, and the one on my room had a broken window pane, and I broke it when I was 7, and as I was driving by, I noticed that it was still broken. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it because, whenever I was growing up, I didn't realize like I was poor. I didn't think about being poor. Like, I ate every night and got pretty much everything I needed. But, in retrospect, whenever you go back through and you see something like that, it's like, that, the reason that window never got replaced is because, my mom bought the necessity. She bought what we had to have. She couldn't afford a window. So it was, it's interesting to see that how, you catch these things as an adult that you don't realize when you're a kid.
Dan and I actually came from really similar situations. We both had single mothers, and we both had fathers that weren't really in the picture very much. Yeah, my little brother, me, my mom, we lived with my grandma in my grandma's house. That's where I grew up. And my brother and me shared a room. It was actually a laundry room. It was a very narrow room, and we had a bunk bed. that we slept in. And that bunk bed, it had to be built in the room, and because there's no way it was going to fit otherwise, and it fit exactly right. I mean, there was not even 3 inches of clearance between the bed and the wall. So that means to get into the bunk bed, to get into the bottom bunk, you had to crawl in through the top. You know, there was no just like getting in bed like normal from the side. You had to crawl in from the top to get in, because the room was so small and the bed basically took up the entire room. So that was, yeah, that was my childhood room, yeah.
Like, did you have any like career role models?
So when I grew up, what did I want to be when I grew up, right? I wanted to be a postal worker, a mail carrier. And that's because my uncle was a mail carrier, and he drove a brand new Ford Ranger. He had a nice house, and for my birthday every year, he would give me $50, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so I thought mail carriers, that postal workers were rich. So I thought, man, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a postal worker growing up, because relative to the situation that I was in, they were rich. So that was always my goal, always my dream. You know, in school, they call upon you, you know, kids are saying all kinds of different stuff, and I was saying postal worker. It was always very bizarre, and I never heard anyone else say it, but yeah, that was me.
Did you and Dylan grow up near each other, and like, where did y'all grow up?
No, Dylan, me and Dylan, well, we're both from Kentucky, obviously, but he grew up in Bell County in Middlesboro, and I grew up in Whitley County. And it's actually not that far away. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like 30 miles away if you were able to drive through the woods or whatever. But, you know, as it stands, it's like an hour away.
What do you do for work, and how did you hear about it? How did you get started?
Well, it's kind of funny, because I've always been interested in owning a business, right? Like, and college, like I had an eBay store, and but it was so hard. Like it's just so hard to manage it at any real level. And then I got started with a job, and it's kind of funny because, like, you know, I was passionate about hustling. Like that was my thing. Is I loved just trying to make extra money, and that was really exciting for me. But nothing I never really found anything that stuck. Like just nothing seemed to work for me. And then, because I didn't really have time, you know, I had like a full-time job, I had a family, I had all the, just all the obligations that humans have whenever you turn into a grown-up. And one day there was, you know, I worked at a online game company, and one day the CFO of the company comes in, and he'd given his notice. And this is like mind-boggling to me, because, you know, we live in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky, and 6-figure jobs don't grow on trees here. There's not a lot of them. And this guy was making, you know, well over 6 figures. And I remember I went to him and I was like, hey man, like, are you getting another job? And I knew, you know, he had moved here from New Jersey. And I was like, are you moving back, or what's going on? And he was like, no man, I make more money selling on Amazon part-time than I do coming into work. And I was like, what? Like at the time, honestly, I didn't even know you could sell on Amazon. Like I thought that was the place that people sold, or that was the bookstore, the online bookstore. And I was like, you sell on Amazon and make more money? And yeah. And I was like, how do you ship the orders? And he was telling me about FBA, and that was whenever he was telling me about that, it's like I was immediately drawn to it, because all the things I hated about my eBay store, like packing and shipping orders, dealing with customer service, like all of those awful, like time-consuming things didn't happen on Amazon. And it was crazy. Like within a day, I got started. So I went and I got my very first credit card, and it was a $600 credit card. And I mean, as soon as I got that email and it's like, Amazon's receiving your inventory, I started seeing sales come in, and I was hooked. Like it was right there that I was like, wow, this can be just a real business, right? Like it's the ability to be able to scale it and not have to pack and ship orders was something that was just, I knew it was something I could make money with, for sure. And within that first 4 months, I know like we had done probably $25,000 or $30,000 in sales off that little $600 credit card. And it was insane. Like, just the feeling of seeing it work, realizing that, you know, it was my business, no matter what. Like, this is my business. This is something that I was building, you know, one day at a time, and you know, I was incredibly proud.
Tell me about what you were doing right before you came on.
Yeah, so I didn't do very good in high school, and I couldn't afford to go to a university. So I ended up in community college, and I got kind of lucky. While I was at community college, I ended up getting an IT job that paid $40,000 a year. So as far as I was concerned, you know, I had made it. I was rich now. And as the years kind of went on, I started to realize that I was now trapped. So this was kind of like my dream, to just make a living, you know, to have a decent job. But it dawned on me that the place that I was at, the only way I was ever going to move up, increase my salary, was if someone either retired or died. And I really I just wasn't willing to wait for that. I felt like I had potential to do more, and I wanted to be more, to be something more, and it just wasn't going to happen there. And luckily, as I was having those feelings, it kind of coincided with the ability for me to leave that job and just focus on being an entrepreneur, focus on Amazon full-time. So it was a no-brainer for me. It was so easy to make that decision because I was so tired of where I was at. And so I tell my wife, and she's super positive about it, you know, super supportive. And then I tell my mom, and she is, and I love her to death, right? But she was much more nervous about it. You know, in her eyes, I had already accomplished everything that she ever wanted out of me, and things that, you know, she wasn't able to accomplish, and other people in her family weren't able to do. And that's just like the mindset of people where we come from in Appalachia, you know, that you can't make it, that you can't do it, you can't get, you know, people don't start businesses, people don't get rich, you know, that's not really how it works around here. So she had that mindset, but I did it anyway. Yeah, I did it anyway.
What does your mom think about everything now?
No, she loves the vacations that I put her on every year. Oh yeah, those beach vacations. She's a big fan.
She's gotten a little more comfortable.
Yeah, she loves that, yeah.